It's a medical revolution. We're on the cusp of unleashing long-hidden secrets buried deep in our DNA. This is the ultimate genetic crystal ball.
DNA sequencing, it's a profound game changer.
Visionary technology now promises to end deadly diseases and gives us the key to immortality itself.
We knew that there was a way to intervene with aging at the genetic level.
DNA can absolutely help feed and heal this world across the board.
Spectacular new discoveries are revealing the true power of our genes. This is DNA, the next wave. Scientists are using DNA to map out a new genetic world. In this scientific field of dreams, Dr. Cynthia Kenyon is attempting to bring what once was science fiction into reality. The fountain of youth.
Different species age at really different rates, and different species are different because they have different genes. So there's something in the genes that can affect the rate of aging, and what is it?
In her labs at the University of California, she's using genetic technology to change the very course of human evolution.
So it seemed to me that it was possible that there was something in us like a little dial. You turn it up and you age fast, turn it down and you age more slowly, maybe even further down you age like a turtle, which is very, very slowly.
This revolution is not just limited to a secret group of elite academics. Now it's happening in the world of private enterprise, propelling this technology directly onto the mass market for everyone to access. Every health issue we're destined to encounter can be detected and cured.
What we really want to do is make sequencing affordable and commonplace so that we can use this to inform and extend everybody's life.
Scientists in the private sector are now using this new era of genetic wisdom to better understand our DNA.
Your predisposition to certain diseases are determined by your DNA. Doesn't necessarily mean fate, but it can set the boundaries of what your potential is.
Riding on the wave of a scientific revolution, both the academic world and commercial labs agree on one critical point. We are now masters of our own genetic destiny. Encinitas, California. Paramedics rush to the Beery household. Alexis is frantically gasping for air.
We went running down the hallway and her face had started to turn somewhat bluish in color. We knew that we were going to have to fight for her life.
Joe and Retta Beery are parents to twins who both suffer from a devastating medical condition they've had since birth. For over a decade, doctors are unable to understand the cause of their crippling mystery illness.
Stay with me.
We had no idea what was going on.
It was a life or death situation. Her arms would be stuck, glued to her chest, her eyes would roll to the back of her head. Noah threw up every day of his life, and it was very difficult for us as a family.
Unknown to the family, Alexis and Noah share a rare and dangerous condition locked inside their genes. With healthcare running into millions of dollars and no successful diagnosis from the doctors, the Beery family are running out of options.
In addition to the L-DOPA are possible that her...
Can the larger scientific community offer Alexis and Noah new hope? A pioneering technology is radically transforming healthcare and offers help to those suffering from mystery illnesses around the world. It's called DNA sequencing.
DNA sequencing is basically the blueprint of what makes you, you. It's the roadmap of your genetic code.
Amanda Clardy is part of a new generation, bringing DNA out of the science labs and directly into our lives.
Your DNA code can tell us whether you're predisposed to common diseases, and if those diseases ever manifested themselves, we can know why.
By taking a genetic sample, scientists can read or sequence our personal genetic code. DNA is the key software in our body that tells us how to grow and function.
All of your genetic material is stored in your DNA, and you have DNA in nearly every cell of your body. If I were to have a lot of DNA in a test tube, and I was to stick a glass rod into that test tube and pull it up, it would look like a really long, clear string.
Through deconstructing the complex strings of DNA codes, we can spot corrupted or mutated chemical letters. These mutations are the cause of many health problems we encounter in the future. Sequencing allows us to predict impending diseases and empowers individuals to adopt profound life changes.
You might actually choose to live your life differently, whether it's how you eat or the preventative care you seek.
Driving this new marvel of technology is the rapidly decreasing price of sequencing. Academic and commercial groups are joining forces to create an affordable way to screen our entire genetic code.
When we sequenced the first human genome, it took 10 years and cost nearly $3.8 billion. Now, you'll be able to sequence a human genome in one day for about $1,000. That difference is what's going to get this type of technology into every doctor's lab in the future.
A global network of people sharing genetic information has started to alter the face of medical research. It's an intriguing concept that's gathering momentum.
Knowing your DNA code and having everybody's DNA code in a database is actually what can really help us. Because at this point in time, there's still so much research that needs to get done. But it could start a revolution where we're all very comfortable sharing it in an anonymous way.
Sequencing could potentially cure billions of people around the world. For Alexis and Noah, this technology offers the second chance at life that the family has been longing for.
When we did get our DNA sequenced, it was painless. The blood just went through the machine and it was just sequencing it strand by strand.
After analyzing Alexis and Noah's DNA data, researchers discover a shocking revelation.
They had found a genetic mutation in myself, a genetic mutation in Joe. Together, Noah and Alexis got both of these mutations in one gene.
Dopamine and serotonin, the essential chemicals that manage our brain and central nervous systems, are at dangerously low levels in the twins. This life-saving diagnosis enables the doctors to find a cure. The twins begin taking medication and never look back.
I could mentally and physically feel a change happening. Just being able to have the freedom to run, it was just an amazing feeling.
I could never probably jump. I would probably be in a wheelchair. I couldn't do many things.
To watch Alexis and Noah be able to play basketball, to be able to run, to be able to even go to dinner, we are so grateful, and we don't take anything for granted.
Alexis and Noah are one of the first in the world to be saved by DNA sequencing. But this cure is not without its cost.
When I think about all the invasive tests, all the dollars, all the time that was spent and all the pain that we went through, where DNA sequencing was a simple blood test and then some data and analytics.
In the future, our health problems could be mapped out at birth. But is every one of us truly prepared to predict our own future?
We're only scratching the surface of all the knowledge that we're going to obtain by studying the human genome.
As we consider the implications of this new wave of DNA technology, science is tempting us with the promise of another medical breakthrough. Superhuman life. A race to a new genetic frontier has started. Scientists are finding innovative approaches to gene expression profiling.
Gene expression in science is how a gene functions. When you activate a gene, it will make a protein. Gene expression is related to whether that particular gene is activated or inactivated, if you will, to make less protein.
Academic institutions and privately funded labs are harnessing the huge potential of this science.
The human genome is the book of life, and we have finally been able to understand what is written in this book of life.
And these breakthroughs are powering us towards a once impossible goal: identifying the sources of aging.
What we are trying to see now is whether we can actually slow down the aging process in such a way so that these age-related diseases don't happen early on. We are trying to delay the onset of these diseases as much as possible.
Meet Dr. Joseph Chang. As a chief scientist of a privately funded lab, he's dedicated his life to nutritional intervention for the war on aging.
I experienced in my lifetime the death of my father about 3 years ago. He never had a good quality of life for 10 years before his death. And I began to wonder, can a person maintain an optimal quality of life throughout his or her lifespan?
In these commercial labs, Dr. Chang is searching for a way his company can restore our bodies to a more youthful setting.
Through our scientific studies and to our research, we are beginning to understand there are certain groups of genes that are very important in aging. Instead of just talking about groups of genes, we thought by coining a term such as youth gene clusters, it would give a better definition of what we're trying to do in our research.
Within the clusters, he is looking for genes that regulate aging.
If you somehow change the gene expression profile of youth gene clusters, it has either a positive or a negative impact on biological aging.
He becomes interested in youth gene clusters related to mitochondria, tiny structures in our cells. These are miniature motors that fuel our bodies, maintaining our energy levels from cradle to grave.
Yeah, the mitochondria, like the battery, does drain over time. If we don't recharge the mitochondria battery, we won't have the energy needed to run the cell. And if the mitochondria doesn't function optimally, then these early signs of aging begin to appear.
Advancements in science enable Dr. Chang to probe at DNA's frontier. He's trying to restore mitochondrial function using gene expression technology.
So when we talk about resetting, we're not talking about structurally changing these genes. We are really resetting the activity or the gene expression profile of age-related genes. We're beginning to understand there is a certain gene expression profile that exists when you were in a very youthful state. But as you age over time, that gene expression profile changes. We want to make sure that a gene expression profile stays as close as possible to what you had when you were a 20-year-old.
On the other side of the world, partnering with Dr. Chang at a sister lab, is Dr. Josh Zhu. He's using his knowledge of the natural world to battle aging with the most unusual of ingredients. The scientist believes that he is getting close to discovering the key to resetting mitochondrial gene expression with the help of a fungus called Cordyceps sinensis.
Cordyceps sinensis is a fungal product, a natural product. It's just similar to any kind of a mushroom.
But this is no ordinary fungus. In the wild, it grows on the heads of live caterpillars from a range of remote mountains in Tibet. After years of correctly formulating the right blend through a fermentation process, Dr. Zhu is ready to take Cordyceps sinensis out of the lab and begin observational studies to discover its true power. His studies have found that after taking Cordyceps sinensis, their exercise performance capability improved.
Cordyceps sinensis shortened recovery period and improved cardiovascular function.
Cordyceps sinensis drastically heightens endurance and energy metabolism and fights fatigue. The results indicate that Cordyceps sinensis could potentially counteract the strains of daily life that lead to aging.
We can see a Cordyceps sinensis not really just extend the lifespan, but healthy lifespan. We proved Cordyceps sinensis is really anti-aging herb.
Dr. Zhu's Cordyceps sinensis research is added to other blended ingredients to create Dr. Chang's anti-aging compound.